War plans. There's no units, no locations, no routes, no flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information. You know who sees war plans? I see them every single day.
So you think he should step down?
I do, because what he texted was the drones are going to hit, then the second sortie of F-18s will be on target. That tells the enemy exactly when the drones hit in that spot, 30 minutes later, the F-18s are going to be there. That is my concern. That's why I'm so upset. As a former pilot, you know, I have a special affinity for pilots who are out there. And these men and women, thank goodness we're not injured on this mission. And I worry about future missions.
And wait, there's more. A National Guard article on the celebrated 442nd Regimental Combat Team, made up almost entirely of second-generation Japanese Americans, was removed. A U.S. Army page that was deleted but restored this weekend following complaints, albeit without its previous reference to AAPI heritage, identifies the 442nd as the most decorated unit for its size and length of service during the entire history of the U.S. military. And wait.
What you just saw there was Pete Hegseth. Just a small clip from one of my guys, Reese Waters, on Pete Hegseth. And he was just denying, refusing to answer the questions in regards to this whole Signal app issue that, you know, could have put a pilot, could have put military soldiers' lives at risk. I'm going to play the rest of the clip here pretty soon, but I want to just talk about this, you know, this DEI stuff, this peace through strength. And no, we didn't put classified information or classified military strikes out on a Signal app. Now, I posted a video earlier last week in regards to these individuals need to resign. They are putting our military soldiers at risk. I'm talking about the Mike Waltz. I'm talking about the Pete Hegseths, the Tulsi Gabbards, JD Vance with the praying hands saying great job, and Stephen Miller. And, you know, these guys showing those little fist pump emojis and strong man emojis and stuff like that. I'm talking about these individuals putting our soldiers at risk. A national security on an app that wasn't even, you know, it wasn't even a government official app. How crazy is that, guys? That is very crazy for us to be experiencing this in 2 months into the Trump presidency. We are, matter of fact, I'll tell you this, we are a little bit over 2 months in the Trump presidency. He has talked about tariffs on and tariffs off. He has talked about, you know, maybe invading Greenland, Mexico, even Canada. And he is also having Elon Musk dismantle everything in our governmental systems in America. How crazy is that? There are thousands of individuals that have been terminated working for our government, working in Social Security, Department of Education, working in any governmental system that we hold true, that our tax dollars go to. Also, mind you, Elon Musk is getting paid $8 million. I think they said a day. Him and his Doge goons, these 19 to 24-year-olds. Listen, if I make it to $8 million in any point in time in my life, from the 25, 30 plus years that I've actually had some type of job, I mean, this is what this guy's making in a day's time frame. Let's talk about it. But before we do, I ask you to share this video, like and subscribe, and also post your comments. And I'm going to tell you something. Some of you people that are all for Trump, 100% for Trump. Woo! I love everything he's doing. Even though I lost my job because I work for the government, I love everything that he's doing. Let me ask you this question here. Let me ask you this simple question. If you love what he's doing and you don't have a job and you don't have a sense of income coming in, how can you love that? Are you relying on unemployment from the state? Because if you are relying on unemployment from the state, guess what? The states, even though they're separate from the government, the states have to provide that funding to you. And if they don't have any money to give you, then guess what? They're going to reach out to the government for it. So they're going to reach out to the White House for assistance for any person that lives in your state. But guess what? On top of that, a lot of the red states is like, hey, we don't have anything for you. Go ahead and apply on Indeed Jobs. Career Builder. Career Builder. Look for some resources on LinkedIn. That's where we're heading at right now. But let's touch back onto this whole subject with Pete Hegseth. I understand that Pete Hegseth, he's a lightweight military veteran. And the reason why I say lightweight is because my brother, who I love unconditionally, served 24 years in our military. Served 24 years risking his life. I had a conversation with him not too long ago, and he was like, shoot, half my lifetime I served in the military. He's 50 plus years old now. However, he served 24 years in our military, in the Army. He was deployed many a times. I remember when I was like 8 or 9 years old, my brother was deployed, and, I didn't see him for a few years. And when he came back, he was hardened from the experiences that he saw. And we have Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense. Him and Mike Walls, Stephen Miller, the whole crew of didn't earn it, let's just say. Talking about military strikes on a Signal app, it's like the WhatsApp. It can be tapped in anytime from any other country. That's how crazy this administration is right now. It is. And, it's very alarming that in 2 months time frame that we have, again, of course, I say this all the time. We have the lies. We have the denials. We have the deflections. We have the blaming the previous administrations. And when I say administrations, I'm talking about they blame Obama. They blame Biden. But they don't blame themselves. Trump, what? I didn't know. I haven't heard about that, but I'll have to take a look into that. Come on now, please. You heard about it, because if it's spread out all on the news, even Fox News has it, the misinformation propaganda channel, then of course you got it too. But Trump always plays the dumb guy. He does. I'm telling you, if you ever watch any videos and any situation negatively that happens, he's the type of person that says, well, I haven't heard that much about it, but I can tell you, I don't really care about that news broadcasting channel. I heard they're not doing good. I tell you what, I don't really care too much for that news article. I heard they're doing really bad. Everything is negative. Or let's just say this. When it comes to Trump, he will not take credit for anything negative, but he will surely take credit for anything positive happening within our economy. And right now, he can't take credit for anything positive. If he does take credit for anything positive, it's a complete lie. So check this video out. I know I just went on a tangent here, but it just really, with keeping up with the whole Trump administration and just the things, the executive orders on top of executive orders on top of executive orders, the thousands of firings of governmental jobs. Not only, let me just say this, it's just not people that's losing their jobs in government. There's manufacturing jobs that are being lost. There are healthcare jobs that are being lost. That is not part of the government. With all this stuff going on, man, it's just so mind-boggling to the situations that are happening. And let alone, let's just talk about this really quick before I play my boy Reese Waters. Let alone, we have people getting kidnapped because they said something that Trump didn't like. They protested Israel. These people are getting kidnapped, Can you believe that in the state, in the country of America, people are getting kidnapped and sent to countries like El Salvador, claiming that they're part of a gang or they are anti-Semitic. In the land of the free and the home of the brave. I guess we're not free if we can't even use our speech to protest something that we don't like. How crazy is that? Check this video out with Reese Waters.
Inclusion across several agencies. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has declared that DEI is dead. The U.S. Department of Defense removed, then restored a webpage featuring baseball and civil rights pioneer Jackie Robinson, who served in the Army during World War II and segregation. The previously removed article discussed his service during the war before he broke the modern-day Major League Baseball color barrier for the Brooklyn Dodgers. On January 6, 1944, Robinson boarded an Army bus. The driver ordered Robinson to move to the back of the bus, but Robinson refused. The driver called the military police, who took Robinson into custody. He was subsequently court-martialed, but he was acquitted. Now, due to significant uproar, as I mentioned, they did restore that particular article. Articles about the famed Native American code talkers have disappeared from some military websites, with several broken URLs now labeled DEI. And by the way, from 1942 to 1945, the Navajo code talkers were instrumental in every major Marine Corps operation in the Pacific theater of World War II. They were critical to securing America's victory at Iwo Jima. Axios identified at least 10 articles mentioning the code talkers that had disappeared from the U.S. Army and Department of Defense websites as of Monday. And wait, there's more. A National Guard article on the celebrated 442nd Regimental Combat Team, made up almost entirely of second-generation Japanese Americans, was removed. A U.S. Army page that was deleted but restored this weekend following complaints, albeit without its previous reference to AAPI heritage, identifies the 442nd as the most decorated unit for its size and length of service during the entire history of the U.S. military. And wait, there's more. The National Guard removed 2 of its articles about the 369th Infantry Regiment, a highly decorated, segregated unit renowned in the U.S. and France for its heroics in World War I. The unit was initially formed as the first black unit of the New York National Guard. Its enormous victory parade in 1919 was considered a landmark for black pride and civil rights. They were the first American recipients of France's illustrious Croix de Guerre, and many received the Legion of Honor, France's highest honor for civil or military merit. Not to mention the removal of several articles detailing the contribution of indigenous Americans, including profiles of Iraq combat veterans from Arizona, Louisiana, and Nevada, a paratrooper with the 173rd Sky Soldiers, and a Cherokee Brigadier General from Oklahoma. Now, would it seem like a mistake that the Jackie Robinson article was deleted if I told you they also deleted the article telling the story of the highest ranking Black Medal of Honor recipient in our country's history?
The Trump administration just removed the Medal of Honor webpage for Major General Charles Calvin Rogers, the highest ranking African American to receive the award. And it gets even worse. Not only when you go to the website, you'll see a 404 page not found error, but the URL was changed from medal to DEI medal. The same people who told us that taking down Confederate statues erases history are currently deleting Black history.
Not even.
Whew. I am back. They are trying to take away history, specific history for Black and people of color when it comes to the military. I'm telling you what, I'm a history person. I like, understanding, and I like learning about history, especially history in the World War II time frame. And what it seems like is that they're whitewashing everything when it comes to people of color and their success and the things that they've done, whether it's in our military or anything. and they wanted to make, they're trying to rewrite history. That's what they're trying to do. And I can remember when the Adolf Hitler's back in the World War II time frame, where they would ban books, burn pictures. They would just try to destroy education within itself because they wanted to make it like a Germany, Nazi, I can't even find the words for it, but they wanted to make it so completely Germany pure that any foreigner didn't have a piece of history in that time frame, in the World War II time frame. I mean, you're seeing that today, and it's very alarming. But I have another video really quick in regards to Pete Hegseth, the peace through strength guy, the guy that needs to resign, like I say over and over again, because if this was a Biden personnel or an Obama personnel, guess what? They would be resigning with the quickness. It wouldn't take a week. It wouldn't take 48 hours. It will be probably thereafter 24 hours. Check this video out.
This is so clearly classified info he recklessly leaked that could have gotten our pilots killed. You say he needs to resign. Here is Secretary Hegseth dealing with those questions today.
Nobody's texting war plans. There's no units, no locations, no routes, no flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information. You know who sees war plans? I see them every single day.
So you think he should step down?
I do, because what he texted was the drones are going to hit, then the second sortie of F-18s will be on target. That tells the enemy exactly when the drones hit in that spot, 30 minutes later, the F-18s are going to be there. That is my concern. That's why I'm so upset. As a former pilot, you know, I have a special affinity for pilots who are out there. And these men and women, thank goodness we're not injured on this mission. And I worry about future missions.
What more needs to be said? You're talking about someone who is an expert in this field. She is a subject matter expert on combat, especially how to fight a war in the air. Helicopter pilot. Lost limbs. But we have a Republican Party. I did a video a few years ago, I guess a few years ago now, nearly 5 years, where Tucker Carlson said she hates her country because of whatever thing she said, which just flies in the face of her patriotism, her service to her nation, her service to we the people as one of we the people. Tucker Carlson didn't serve. Pete Hegseth, he did serve. That's to his credit. It's about the only thing he's got going for him relative to qualification. But let me tell you, if just serving in the military for a few years makes you qualified to be Secretary of Defense, then I'm qualified to be Secretary of Defense, having been in the Marine Corps. Also, let me tell you, spoiler alert, I'm not qualified to be Secretary of Defense of the most powerful, well-funded military on the face of the planet. I am not.
Well, I'm back to the Just Listen podcast. I ask you, please hang tight for the video. I know it might be a little bit long, but trust me, it's very fruitful when it comes to the things that I say. But we got to talk about Donald Trump and him. You know, anytime you listen to press conferences and there's things that are going on, he doesn't know anything about it. He hears from the reporters to where he say, well, I'll have to take a look into it. I'll have to look into it. I haven't heard that, but I can tell you the Wall Street Journal is not a good article piece. They're doing bad. I heard they're doing bad. He always wants to downplay the situation, and it goes along with the administration as well. Caroline Leavitt, any person that goes on to a media news broadcast, they always play it down to like, oh, no, the Wall Street Journal is terrible. Jeffrey Goldberg is not a great reporter. I don't really care for Jeffrey Goldberg. I'm not a big fan of him. I'm not a big fan of Nike. I just had to throw that in there because, as you well know, I got my Oregon Ducks shirt on. But that's what they do. They want to obfuscate. They want to denigrate the individual or the thing that reported on the negative stuff that is taking place. Now, America, world, people around the world, this video is not just for America alone. This video is for everyone, because you know what? I'd rather have more allies than I do enemies. And that's what the Trump administration is doing right now. They are creating more enemies than they are allies. Yes. Okay. Of course. Oh, Trump talks about China. Trump talks about North Korea. Trump talks about Russia. Somewhat in a negative light when it comes to China. North Korea very much in a positive light, and Russia in a positive light. And if you do any research in regards to North Korea, a very communistic country, a country where there is a dictator in Kim Jong-un, or Russia where oligarchs are falling out windows, he praises them because they are heavily dictators. I mean, I don't know about the Chinese president. I don't know about him as much as dictatorship, but I know that during COVID, I heard about the buildings being shut down and people being stuck in the buildings because, you know, COVID was spreading like a wildfire to where they couldn't get home. I read about information on that. However, this is all in Trump's playbook. This is all in Project 2025. And it's alarming to me that we have an America where people cannot voice their opinion. People cannot use the First Amendment right with free speech, where he's going and attacking universities. He's attacking media, and soon he'll be attacking content creators that he don't like what they're saying. No, he will not attack Tim Pool. No, he may not even attack Candace Owens, because all these people, anything that Trump does, they celebrate when they know it's wrong. When they know it's wrong, but they celebrate it. No, he's not going to attack Fox News or OAN. He's not going to attack them, because they will always spin and twist every piece of information to make it look like Trump is doing a good thing when he's not. We are not in the land of the free now, or the home of the brave. Because I tell you what, the home of the brave with Pete Hegseth is that he could have put a soldier at risk. He could have put a Air Force pilot at risk, or military soldiers at risk, with the things that they did within that signal chat. People need to resign. They need to resign within the next week or so. This should not be swept under the rug, guys. This is a very important thing. This should not be swept under the rug. We should not forget about this, because as my brother was a soldier, he's now retired, but as he was a soldier, I didn't want my mother to get that phone call that he was gone. And then, you know, they do the little flag and the little triangle, wrapping and all that kind of stuff, and give you the placard, let you know that, you know, hey, he served in honor and bravery for the country. And then that's all we have to remember him by. I don't want any parent, I don't want any child, I don't want any spouse or friend to have to go through that. I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. And in 2 months, there have been 200 plus people snatched up and sent to concentration camps. Let's just call it. Sent to El Salvador, sent to Texas, sent to Louisiana innocently. Well, let me rephrase that, because I don't want to say that all 200 immigrants, whether they are here whether they're here illegally, let's just say, because everybody has their due process. Many of the individuals that are snapped up are not criminals. Just like one of the individuals who was snatched up and sent to El Salvador had to get his hair shaved off because he was a gay immigrant in the state of America who had a tattoo, an autism tattoo, commemorating and thinking about his sibling who has autism, or the soccer player, the professional soccer player that was a coach being snatched up, or individuals that went to universities who protested things that are going on in Israel being snatched up. I mean, we are living in a fascist time frame. We are turning back the hands of time to when it was World War II and you had the Gestapo out there snatching people up, putting handcuffs on them with their faces covered up or whatever it is, and sending them somewhere that we don't know. I call that kidnapping. That's what that sounds like to me. Black and brown people, people of color, people from any other nationality, any other religion, it's starting to seem like if you do not side with Donald Trump and his fascist agenda, his oligarchy agenda, where the millionaires and billionaires are getting richer, Elon Musk, who was not elected, going in and terminating individuals, we are heading to a time frame of World War II. And in the history of World War II, my wife and I, we took both our boys. Our youngest was a baby at the time. We were in Texas, Dallas, Texas, that is. We took them to a Jewish museum of the World War II experience and seeing the things that we had to see. Seeing the things that when we walked and we saw the artifacts, we saw, the things that individuals wear, the Jewish people with the Star of David showing that they were Jewish and things like that. It was very sad. It was very sad. And listen, we went to plantations, saw the little huts where slaves used to work or slaves used to sleep in. And then we'd see that nice big size mansion where the slave owners lived in, and we see the cotton fields in the back. We knew the troubling times that people had back in the 1800s, 1900s, and so on. And we empathize with that because we are people with empathy. My family and I, we love to learn. And that's what the Trump administration doesn't want us to do, is learn. I got a couple more clips to show and talk about. So I appreciate you hanging tight with me. I'll be right back for another piece from the Just Listen podcast. I'm going to play this video and then I'm going to jump back in. And this one's interesting. This one's pretty good. It's with Marjoie Taylor Green, the representative from Georgia, who I don't even know how she got the position. But of course, she's white. That's all I got. Hey, I'm being transparent here. She's white, country, and she's in a position of power that she shouldn't be in. Here's a video from her. Check it out and have some things to talk about when it comes to it. Don't forget to subscribe.
Meanwhile, Marjoie Taylor Green is clashing with a reporter and saying, I won't talk to you because you're from the UK, and loses her ever-loving mind.
Yep. Anybody else?
Should the Defence Secretary...
What country are you? Wait, what country are you from?
From the UK.
Okay, we don't give a crap about your opinion and your reporting. Why don't you go back to your country where you have a major migrant problem?
Okay,
and no. You should care about your own borders.
Do you care about American lives being put at risk?
Let me tell you something. Do you care about people from your country? What about all the women that are raped by migrants?
Do you care
No,
about...
by migrants. No, do you care? Okay, you're done.
Do you care about American lives being put at risk?
You know what? I don't care.
Service members fighting for your country.
I don't care about your fake news. Do you have a relevant question? Yeah, this is an American journalist. Thank you.
I'm American, and I'd like to hear your answer to what she's asked.
I'm not.
I love that. I love it so much. The reporter, wait, I'm American. Yeah, shut up. I'm American. Actually, no. Answer her question. Love it. And what happens, I've heard Marjorie posted once, because someone with an accent asked Trump a question, and Marjorie said, we shouldn't have anybody else, any reporters from other countries asking the American president questions. America first. Shoo-wee. And have you ever thought that we get a lot of critical information reporting from American reporters who get access to foreign leaders? Don't you also want to know what foreign leaders in other countries are saying? So there's sort of a trade-off there. The world wants to know what's going on in our country. So we have a few reporters from the world talking to our reporters. Talking to our leaders. And then we have reporters from our country talking to other leaders, so that we can all sort of stay connected and informed on the world, because the world is bigger. We're a big part of it, but the world is bigger than just us.
Yeah, this is an American journalist. Thank you.
I'm an American, and I'd like to hear your answer to what she's asked.
I'm not answering her question
right,
because I don't care about her network. If you would like to ask, I can answer.
Do you have any concerns whatsoever about the complete disregard of operational security from the top level of this administration?
You want to know about complete disregard about operational security?
I bet you, I haven't watched this far in the clip, I bet you $1 billion she will not address the signal controversy with the Trump administration and will bring something else up. Let's listen.
You should talk about the Biden administration.
Oh, there we go. Give me $1 billion now.
They ripped our borders open to terrorist, cartel, child sex trafficking, human trafficking, and drug trafficking across our borders for 4 years. The Trump administration is doing a great job, and I stand by their statements. I stand by their statements. My comment to you is I'm thankful to President Trump that he is leading us out of wars, that he's ending the war in Ukraine, where American lives could have been killed if Joe Biden was still president today, whether he liked it or not. We're talking about NPR and PBS today. We're talking about fake news that was funded with federal funding from American tax.
Yep. So this, that's kind of the nature of the response that we're hearing from a lot within the Trump defending cohort, which is to obfuscate, it's something about Biden or Hillary, or to say, I stand by whatever Pete Hegseth said. Or I stand by what Mike Waltz said. But they're all saying contradictory and confusing things. So none of it's really being cleared up as it pertains to the leaked attack information, classified information to the journalist.
I'm back. Listen, one of my guys I like to listen to a lot of people on YouTube because I like to learn and I like to do my research. And, these progressive individuals, they provide factual information. I'm not on X. I don't get on X anymore because I got tired of seeing Elon Musk's ugly ketamine face. So Luke Beasley, this video is brought to you by Luke Beasley, and it's about Marjoie Taylor Green. And I'm going to let you know something really quick. Like my boy Jesse Dollarmore said, stop electing stupid people. We have to stop electing stupid people, America. Listen, Marjoie Taylor Green, she's an individual that's a nasty individual. Nasty. She wants to only hear from America. America, where's your American flag? I want your sunglasses on. I want your little khaki shorts on and your America hat or MAGA hat. I want to hear from you. But she doesn't want to hear from people from other countries. And she's so nasty to people from other countries. And I'm going to tell you something. Let me just say this. The woman from England, from London, wherever she's from in England, United Kingdom, I can't. I try to mix it together because when I hear England, I hear UK, I hear London, whatever. The young lady handled it well. And I don't even know if she's a young lady, but she handled it well because I'm going to tell you this. If this was a sister asking her the question and Marjorie was talking like she was, you would have saw the screen black out because somebody would have got hands put on them the way that they were talking. For real. Somebody would have got hands put on the way that they were talking because Marjorie, I don't want to listen to you. You need to focus on your country and the legal immigrants and them raping women. Did she even research that? Does she even have any information about illegal immigrants raping women in London or the UK? Does she have information on that? She just says that shit. I mean, really, honestly, she just says that stuff thinking that it's true. Did she even research it? Did she even, go to the BBC and research there's so much crime and everything going on in London or the UK that illegal immigrants are doing and stuff like that? See, that's the bullshit that we have to deal with. They gin this stuff up. They gin this stuff up like it's, honestly, it's a lie. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. I don't believe that there are illegal immigrants doing all this crime all across the world because they have a darker color skin. I don't believe that. I think she's lying her ass off and she's trying to placate like this is really going on with that reporter's country. And she don't want to hear from him, but she wants to hear from an American. And I like that the American reporter said, "Hey, yeah, I'm from America. Hey, call on me. Yes, call on me." And he was like, "Hey, I'm from America. I want you to answer her question." I love that because see what the Republicans like to do is the Republicans don't want to answer the question when they know that there was something bad that happened within the administration with the Republicans. They don't want to answer that question. What they'll do is they'll try to blame Biden. They'll try to blame Obama. They'll try to blame Kamala. They'll try to blame anybody that is a Democrat. And that is not the case. That is not true. What she was talking about was a lie. It was basically she was trying to avoid answering the question from the reporter. And then when she said, "Oh, well, where are you from? Where are you from?" "I was just want to speak to Americans. Give me the fist pumps and the muscles and the American flag and the American eagle. I want to listen to nothing but Americans." I mean, hell. That's racist within itself, excuse me. You want to just listen to Americans. You want to respond to Americans. Dumb as a box of rocks. Dumb as a box of rocks. Listen, I've been to Australia. I've been to Puerto Rico. Well, let me rephrase that. I've been to Costa Rica. I've been to other places within the United States and outside of the country. And me, respectfully, it doesn't matter where you come from. I'm going to give you respect. I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to let you know about America. Well, not right now, but I'm going to do that. It doesn't matter where you came from. I'm just going to report what I know and what I've experienced in America. And I'm going to talk about some of the good things that we have to offer here. But for Marjoie Taylor Green to say, "I only want to answer to Americans," even talking to a white English reporter, that's some racist shit for another country. Not everything is all about America, Marjorie. Just to let you know, not everything is all about America. We have to think about other countries, especially our allies when it comes to it, because we have to give them respect. And you know what? I wouldn't give this woman respect because she doesn't give it. Plain and simple. The last thing I want to touch on. Oh my goodness. We're so cooked. We're so cooked. Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, America. Listen. You guys need to wake up. You need to wake up. You need to have an open mind when it comes to other countries. Whether they are a predominantly pale skinned country to the countries that have melanin in them. You got to wake up because we're going to be on an island by ourselves, honestly. Canada and Mexico is not going to want to have anything to do with us. But anyways, let me finish off with this because this is something that is happening in my state that is... All I got to say is I'll be right back. I'm going to let this video play. It's with my boy Kyle Kulinski, one of my favorite guys from the Secular Talk. And I'm going to talk about it.
Right? For sure. But they're not the same. They're just not the same. You have one party that's a center-right party, that's the Democrats, and one party that is fucking off the spectrum, fascist, authoritarian, Attila the Hunism. Now we have an update on this. Florida debates lifting some child labor laws to fill jobs vacated by undocumented immigrants. Holy shit. Holy shit. They all made a big stink about, oh, bro, the reason we got to deport the undocumented immigrants is to give better job prospects to the American people who can't get a job because the immigrants are stealing their jobs. And now they're like, bring in the 13-year-olds, please. Bring in the 13-year-olds. And by the way, we could pay the 13-year-olds even less. Yay, hooray. Big business ruins everything. Yippee skippy. All right, here we go. Florida has been working for years to crack down on employers that hire undocumented immigrants, but that presented a problem for businesses in the state that are desperate for workers to fill low-wage and often undesirable jobs. Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis and the state legislature have a potential solution. Children. The state's legislature on Tuesday advanced a bill that would loosen child labor laws, allowing children as young as 14 years old to work overnight shifts. 14-year-olds working overnight shifts. Are you mental? If the new laws passed, teenagers would be able to work overnight jobs on school days. They are currently prevented from working earlier than 6:30 a.m. or later than 11 p.m. per state law. Even that's too... Oh, my God. The bill passed through the Florida Senate's Commerce and Tourism Committee on Tuesday with 5 votes in favor of the loosened child labor restrictions and 4 against. Let me guess which party they belong to. The bill will pass through 2 other relevant committees before being put to a vote with the full Florida Senate. DeSantis is supportive of the law and has been vocal of cracking down on immigration, echoing President Trump's rhetoric. However, economists have warned that could backfire, sparking further inflation and labor shortages. You don't say. Why do we say we need to import foreigners, even import them illegally, when you know teenagers used to work at these resorts? College students should be able to do this stuff, DeSantis said last week at a panel discussion with Border czar Tom Homan. By the way, let's be clear. That's a straw man too, because a lot of these, in red states, a lot of these rules that they're rolling back are also to allow children to work in dangerous jobs, like meat facilities.
Welcome back to the show. This is your boy Walt from the Just Listen podcast. I just had to laugh at everything. But anyways, if you stuck around, I do appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel. Send this channel to other people. If you are in America and you like what you're hearing, send it to other family members that may like what they're hearing as well. If you're from another country, listen, send this to your friends, because this is what's going on in America. Okay. This is what's going on in America, in one of the states of America. Please send this to other people. Also, post a comment. Let me know what you think in regards to what you've been hearing on America and everything that's been taking place. So you just saw a video from my boy Kulinski for child labor laws. Florida's trying to change the child labor laws where young kids, oh my goodness, they're able to work third shift on a school night. I mean, this is crazy stuff. I mean, real talk, I have an 8-year-old. I'll be damned if I have him working at 14 years old. You know, I've heard about the horror stories of young individuals that's trying to make some money for the household, losing limbs, losing their life. No, that's not going to happen with my child. And what Florida's doing, if they do pass this law because of the issues with immigration now, yeah. If you are sending your child out there to work any type of shift, even on a school night, there's something wrong with you. Let me just say a story. Let me just talk about the story really quick. So I was a paper boy in the summertime. I was around 13, 14 years old. And of course, we're doing papers. You had to get up early in the morning to deliver papers. I'm talking 5 o'clock in the morning. You get the papers, they'll be dropped off in your front door, and you have to get up, roll them up, put them in your bag, and then you have to deliver these papers, to the houses. Newspapers back in the day, back in the 90s, let's say, you would get some of your news from newspapers. And so making these deliveries, I mean, the sun is starting to peak up just a little bit, but riding my bike and everything, delivering these papers, you never know what's going to happen to you. You never know if there's somebody going to snatch you up and stuff like that as I'm hitting my mic. And The worst days were Sundays. Sunday papers, you had ads, you had everything in these papers. These papers were like this thick. This thick. They weighed at least 8 pounds from each paper. And you do a route that's like 30 houses, let's say. So 8 times 30 is 240 pounds, somewhat. I'm just guesstimating. And you'd have to deliver these papers. You had to take them, put them either in the mailbox or at the front door, whatever. You know how you see the paper boys throwing the newspapers onto the doorsteps, and they'd go right in the middle of the door. So the person that opens up the door, all they have to do is bend down. That's kind of how like it was. This was grueling. Getting up early in the morning. I'm talking 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. As a young person, it was not fun. So just imagine kids working 10 o'clock at night until 4 in the morning or whatever Florida's trying to do. But this is some crazy shit. My mother, I worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs specifically when I was in school. 1 when I was in middle school, and then 2 when I was in high school. These were summer jobs, kinda. And my mother was like, listen, if you don't want to work these jobs, you don't have to. We're doing good. You know, if you want to make a little side change, that's fine, but you don't have to work these jobs. If you want to do it, that's fine, but I want you to focus on your sports because I was pretty good in football. And I want you to focus on enjoying your summer. Why we want to take away kids, why we want to take away their freedom after school education? Why we want to do that? You know, sometimes kids play sports like I did. And after school, I would have practice. Basketball, football, baseball, track. Why would we want to steal that away from kids and putting them back in the workforce like this is back in the early 1900s, 1800s, whatever? That's not fair to the kid. But also it's dangerous. It's dangerous because let's just say that a kid is going to work 10 to 6 o'clock in the morning. The parent still has to get up to get them back home. What sense does that make? See, here's the issue that we have. Here's what I see is that since they're doing all these deportations, right? They're doing all these deportations to where they don't have the manpower to be able to do the job like they would if they would actually have the immigrants coming in and working these jobs and taking their tax money. So they want to they want to put the kids into that, just like my boy Kyle said. This is some crazy stuff. And I will tell you this. I do not like the governor of Florida. I think his policies and things that he's put in place for the state of Florida have hurt women, have hurt children, and people of color. And the poor people. I do not agree with any policy that he's put in. It doesn't benefit me in my household, especially being people of color, being black people. Banning books, allowing Miles for Liberty to come in here and say, oh, the Color Purple book is a book that needs to be banned. You know, Brownstone Brown Girls book needs to be banned because it has the color brown in it. This governor has not been a good governor, period, for people of color. That's all I got to say on that. Anyways, I thank you for hanging tight with me on the show today. Do me a favor, subscribe, post your comments on what you think about the what is it called? The Signal app. Post your comments in regards to Trump not knowing any damn thing that's happening in the administration. Post your comments on what you think about the child labor laws being loosened. Let me know what you think, guys. This is the Just Listen podcast. I'm your host, Walt. Have a blessed day. Peace and love.
A traitor. Watch this clip.
In other words, Democratic Arizona Senator Mark Kelly posted on X about his trip to Ukraine to push for continuing to send U.S. weapons and support there, and you posted that he was a traitor. Well, why do that?
Well, I think somebody should care about the interests of the United States above the interests of another country. And if they don't, they're a traitor.
Yeah, but he's a decorated veteran, a former astronaut, a sitting U.S. senator.
It doesn't mean it's okay for him to put the interests of another country above America.
Obviously, there are some Republicans who think supporting Ukraine is the right thing still, but